Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum dear students. I'm your teacher Simi Namer and today I'm here again with a new lecture. I hope everything is going well at your side and let's start the lecture. This is my lecture number 14 for grade Prio and today we have a geography class. As we have already started unit number 2 which is about the climate of Pakistan. In the previous lecture, we learned about the climatic zones of Pakistan. As you know, dear students, that there's a great diversity in the whole of Pakistan from now north to the coastal plains in the south. So there's a great diversion of the topography in Pakistan. So the climatic division of Pakistan are highland climate, lowland climate, coastal climate, and the arid climate. About the highland climate, I have told you that northern, northwestern, and western highlands are included in this zone, and the main areas are Chitral, Murree, Muzaffarabad, and Quetta, Kalat, and Waziristan, and so many areas. And the climate here is the winters are very long, cold, and snowy, and summers remain short and mild. And the rainfall is normally associated with altitude. Altitude means height. So rainfall in northern mountain is highest in the highland zone, and the rainfall in the western mountain is less. The temperature condition also vary from north to west depending on the altitude. Then I've told you about the arid zone or the arid climate. Like the regions are the southeastern desert and the southwestern Balochistan. The main areas are in the Kharan Desert, um, the Cholistan Desert, southwestern Balochistan, which that is Kharan Desert, and the southeastern desert in the Sindh. These are the main areas. The climate here is like it is markedly dry and hot. Hot, dusty winds prevail continuously from mid-May to mid-September, and the rainfall takes place during winters only, and in southwestern Balochistan only we can say very scanty rainfall, and in southeastern desert monsoons bring little rainfall. There's extreme heat, dust storms are the main features of this arid climate, and little rainfall from western depressions and monsoon winds may occur in these areas. Then I've told you about the lowland climate. That the main region is the Indus Plain except the coastal areas, like all the Indus Plain, which includes the northern Punjab and almost the whole of Punjab and the northern Sindh till Tatta. The main areas are Islamabad, Sialkot, Sargodha, Multan, Jacobabad, Sakkar, and many more. And the most productive region, and this is the most productive region of Pakistan. Well-developed canal system and most extensive cropping system is here, and population is high, and there is moderate rainfall and tolerable temperature. Um, the rainfalls are like from the sources of convectional currents, from western depressions, and from monsoons. The climate here is the climate is arid and extreme climate with hot summers, cool winters, and summer monsoon rainfall. Thunderstorms are very common in the north and northwestern west of the Indus Plain. The upper Indus Plain and the lower Indus Plain, there's less rainfall and spells of very high temperature. Winters of these areas are cool, mild because of low angle of the sun and continental effect, and the summers are very hot due to high angle of sun and continental effect. Then we learned about the coastal climate. The main area is the Indus Delta, Karachi, and Makran coast, like the coastal area of Balochistan and the Sindh coast. And the climate here is like the climate is dominated by sea breezes throughout the year, and the temperature on land and sea is different. In summers, the land heats up while ocean remains cool, but in winters, the land loses heat quickly and becomes cold while ocean remains hot. The humidity level is usually high, more than 50% from April to September. And then I told you that during October, and climate is dominated by dry winds from southeastern desert, and the rainfall here is very scanty. The rainfall is experienced during monsoon seasons only, or some of the rainfall come with uh, tropical cyclones. Now, today's topic is the seasons of Pakistan, and this is on page number 30. And Pakistan has four seasons mainly: winter season, which is from mid December to March, and the early summers, that is from April to June, late summer, July to September, and post monsoon season, which is from October to mid December. Then is the climatic elements, and there are four main climatic elements: temperature, uh, pressure, which is air pressure, rainfall, and winds. These are responsible for the regional and seasonal variation in the climates of Pakistan. Temperature in Pakistan. The sun is the main source of temperature change in the air. Temperatures vary due to altitude. Altitude is height, latitudinal effect, oceanic influence, and continental effects. Those parts of the earth are warmer which receive direct vertical rays of the sunlight than those which receive slanting rays. Or we can say the solar radiation at an angle. The sun shines vertically at places lying between the tropics of Cancer, which is 23.5 degrees north, and Tropic of Capricorn, which is 23.5 degrees south. The types of the temperature are like the mean maximum temperature, mean minimum temperature, daily temperature, or even annual temperature. It can be measured in Celsius, degrees Celsius, or Fahrenheit. The diversity of temperature in various regions is due to the following factors, like the large spread of latitude from 24 degrees north to 37 degrees north, and diversity of relief. Relief, is the topography or the shape of the land, size of shape of the land. So diversity of relief ranging from the very high mountains up to 8,610 meters in the north to low-lying coastal areas in the south. Here's the temperature key, from degrees 32 degrees centigrade or Celsius or more is hot, 21 to 31 degrees Celsius is warm, 10 to 20 degrees Celsius is mild, and 0 to 9 degrees Celsius is cool. Below 0 degree is very cold. In your book, you can see it's like 40 degrees Celsius and above. A bit changes here, very hot, and 31 to 39 is hot, as I told you here, 32 and more, and then 21 to 30 degrees Celsius is warm, 10 to 20 is mild, 3 to 9 is cool, minus 2 to minus 5 is cold, and below minus 5 is very cold, and or we can say it's freezing. The upper and lower Indus plains heat up during the summer, making the daily maximum temperatures rise up to 40 to 45 degrees Celsius, which is very hot. Jacobabad, which is located in the lower Indus plain, is known as the thermal pole of the subcontinent, where the maximum temperature reaches to 53 degrees Celsius in June, and the mean monthly maximum temperature reaches to 43 degrees Celsius in May and June. The highest temperature is recorded in Jacobabad, which is 53 degrees Celsius, and the lowest temperature is recorded in Chitral in 1695, which was minus 16 degrees Celsius. The highest annual precipitation was in Murray, and that was in 1914, which was like more than 2,500 millimeters. And the lowest annual precipitation was recorded in different areas, and which was like no precipitation at all at Las Vela, in Sibbi, Kalat, Karachi, Nawabshah, and Badin areas, and there was no precipitation at Sakar and Jiva recorded over several years. Now on page number 31, there's a table which shows factors affecting temperature of Pakistan. There are different factors that can affect the temperature of Pakistan. That's why we have lot of diversity from north towards south. And the first factor is the latitudinal effect. Latitudinal effect, like the areas that lie near the equator encounter more amounts of sun rays than the areas that don't lie near the equator. Southern Pakistan receives more amounts of sun rays as compared to the northern Pakistan. So as you know that the whole earth is divided into three main regions: the tropics, the temperate region, and the polar region. So your the country or the location of the country on the latitudes affect the temperature of the area. Like if we are in the tropics, obviously the temperature will be very high, because the tropics, which are from 23.5 degrees north to 23.5 degrees south, from Tropic of Cancer to Tropic of Capricorn, the areas are known as tropics, and they receive vertical or uh, straight angle of sunlight. So obviously the temperature is very high. But from 23 degrees 5 to 66.5 degrees north and south in both hemisphere, in the northern hemisphere and in the southern hemisphere, the regions are called as temperate regions, where the summers are hot and winters are mild. But above 66.5 degrees to 90 degrees, which is the North Pole or the South Pole, in both hemispheres, the temperature is freezing from Arctic Circle to North Pole, and Antarctic Circle to South Pole. The temperature is freezing there. Both areas are known as polar regions. So the areas that lie near the equator encounter more amount of sun rays. That's why the temperature is very high in the tropics. The second thing is the continental effect. This is actually opposite to the maritime influence, like the areas that are away from the sea or unaffected by maritime influence. Maritime influence means sea breezes. So consequently, they are more hot and are as compared to areas near sea. Winters are extreme, and summers are quite severe. So the temperature remains always moderate near the coastal areas, but the areas that are away from the coast having different temperatures. The winters are extreme and summer temperatures are quite severe. There's less moisture results in higher temperature in continental affected areas. Then the next thing is the altitude and temperature. Altitude means the height of the area. So height of the area can affect the temperature of the area, which is like the location point relative to sea, above sea level. The air temperature decreases with altitude. The higher you go, the colder it gets. Like there are about 6.5 degrees Celsius drop in every um, uh, um, every 1,000 meters increase in the altitude. The mountainous areas have lesser temperature as compared to areas close to sea. So you know that there is atmosphere and there are different molecules in the atmosphere which can trap the heat, like there are different gases including many greenhouse gases that can trap the heat from the sunlight. The air is thinner at higher altitude and thicker at sea level because there are more molecules in the at sea level but less molecules in the high altitude. That's why the heat is less. The heat is trapped more in, with the sea level. Then the next thing is the cloud cover and temperature. This is another factor that cloud cover can affect the temperature of the area. Cloud cover affects temperature to some extent. In the daytime, it reduces the amount of incoming solar radiation by reflecting it back into outer space, resulting in a drop in day temperature. Sorry. In daytime, cloud cover reduces the amount of heat by reflecting the heat back to the space, but in nighttime, it traps the outgoing heat, and because of these cloudy nights, they're warm. As you know that there are solar radiations that are coming from sun towards the earth. More than 50% of these radiations are reflected back at the time, but above 40% of these radiations are absorbed in the earth. When there are no incoming radiations from the sun, after the sunset, the earth will give up these radiations back into the air. But in the cloudy day, or we can in the cloudy night, the clouds will prevent the solar radiations from going out to the space. As a result, that night will be comparatively warmer than the clear night. And the last one is the latitude and the angle of the sun. The term angle of the sun refers to the position of the earth in relation to the sun. In your book on page number 32, there is a diagram. You can see the diagram which shows that the sun rays do not fall at the same angle everywhere on the Earth's surface. Latitudinal position determines the amount of heat received by the Earth. For example, compared with the sun's rays that fall near at the equator, the sun's rays falling near the north and south pole have to heat a larger surface area, and travel further through the atmosphere and will have less heating effect. Similarly, the differences in the heat received in summer and winter is due to the difference in the angle of sun. During summer, the northern hemisphere, and Pakistan is also located in the northern hemisphere north of the Tropic of Cancer, and that's tilted towards the sun, and therefore the land absorbs more heat because of the high angle of the sun, and it faces the sun for longer duration, so longer days and shorter nights. During winter, the northern hemisphere is tilted away from the sun. A low angle of the sun, so as a result, the earth absorbs less heat and faces the sun for shorter duration. As a result, shorter days and longer nights. As I've told you, that the tropics, the areas of the tropics, like from 23.5 degrees north to 23.5 degrees south, receive straight or vertical angle of the sunlight. That's why the angle of the sun is important, because the straight or the vertical line of the sunlight gives more heat to the areas. So the temperature will always be high in the tropics. So we are done with all the factors that can affect the temperature of Pakistan. Here is your assignment. Uh, do question number 2 from unit 2, and this is from page number 47. And the question is, how does the climate vary from place to place in each of the climatic zones to which you have referred in question 1? And explain the factors that affect Pakistan's climate. So this is the question. Do it on your neat notebook. Please make a margin line, must write today's day and date, and maintain your index. Thank you so much, dear students, for watching this video. We'll meet again in another video with another lecture with a new topic. Um, if you have any confusion, you can drop down your query in the comment box. Uh, Stay home, stay safe, stay healthy, stay blessed. Bye.